So today's video is going to be about Instagram and ambassador programs. So I'm going to talk to you about Instagram and why I started my Instagram channel and sort of how it's progressed over the years and what's in it for you if you are thinking of Instagram, or if you're on Instagram and don't currently use it or not sure what to use it for. I'm going to talk to you about some of the pros and cons to it, and unfortunately there are some cons to it as well, but I'll run through them and hopefully they will answer a lot of the questions you have. Second one is on ambassador programs. Now, just on that quickly, is Triathlon Dan did a video last year on turning down a sponsorship, is what he named it. Now, if you don't follow Triathlon Dan, I'll put the link down at the bottom. He does daily videos, so great to follow, and I watch his videos all the time, and I get a lot of inspiration from them as well. So thanks to Dan. But one of them that he mentioned is, and I think where people get confused is, if you're on Instagram, you get opportunities to trial products and you're given freebies, and what they ask from you is to either do a post or video story. If you've got a YouTube channel, they might ask you to do one, and I've certainly had them over the years where companies will message me and say, if they sent me a product, would I share it on my Instagram stories, and not so much a review. And this is where I think it gets different, or a bad name is, and a lot of people, and unfortunately, and I follow a lot of them. In fact, I've seen a post today where someone's completely changed from what they were promoting last week. So I'm by no means a influencer on Instagram, but those of the people that are, they obviously get it in a much higher volume. And this is where I think it causes a bit of confusion, and it gives people, honest people like Dan, if you watch his video, he's very honest about what he was doing and from a nutrition point of view. I like to think I am as well in terms of giving the feedback. I've had some quite recently where I was sent something and it arrived damaged. I messaged them and said, look, I can't share it. They sent me another one, it arrived damaged again. And I just said, look, I'm sorry, I can't. The idea was great. It was a product I was actually interested in. I'm not going to go into further details on it because I don't want to name and shame the company, but ultimately it was just something I thought, well, I'm not going to promote that because I'm not going to use it. So why would I get anyone else to use it? So this is where I think there's a sort of bad rep, and you'll see people, one week they're saying, unless we'll pick on nutrition because that seems to be the most popular one because there's so many different brands out there. Now you'll see that one week they're saying, oh, this is the best nutrition I've ever had, and it's got this amount of carbs in and protein, etc., and it does this for me on my runs or bikes or whatever it is. And then next week they get another product and say, this is the best. And it's really hard to believe that every single product is the best one, and it just, by coincidence, they're getting it for free. So anyway, I'm not saying everyone's bad. Like I say, I know of a lot of people, and I've certainly tried a lot of things where it's worked for me, and I will share it. And I think that the key thing here, it's difference between sort of the ambassador programs and getting stuff free from Instagram. 99%, or if not higher, on the ambassador programs, you actually have to apply for, rather than companies reaching out to you. Certainly at the level I am on Instagram, like I said, it's, I've got a decent following, and I'm grateful for everyone that does, because it's really nice and it's motivating, and nice to see that so many people are interested. But at the same time, it's nowhere near the scale of what other people have got, and the things they are getting asked to do are very different to what I am doing. So which is not why I started Instagram. So let's go back to Instagram. Okay, so why I started was, one, it was to keep a record of my triathlon journey. So when I originally started out, or set out to do triathlon, it was only ever supposed to be an Ironman.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
Signed up for Ironman UK in, I think it was the it was actually the October of 2017, to do it in July 2018. Now, that was going to be my very first triathlon. It was full distance. Like I say, it was always just a bucket list. One of those things to get a tick in the box to say, I've completed an Ironman, and I wanted to keep a record of my journey of that so that I can look back in years to come to say, you know what, that was an achievement that I did. And I can look back, show the kids, show the grandkids, etc. So that's how it started. And then as it progressed, so a few months in, I then decided, you know what, maybe I should do a half distance just before the full distance to make sure, one, I can do it. So it was a bit of a confidence booster, but also I was itching to race. So I'd done a load of training and I really wanted to, and I couldn't wait to do the Ironman. So anyway, that's how the journey started with triathlon. Fully got the bug, as you can see. So 4 years in, I've got a YouTube channel where I'm trying to help other people to get in, and that's what it's about. So if you're new around here, that is what the channel is. It's about helping other people of my experiences to try and get into the sport. If you're in the sport, to help you stay in the sport. And that's really what Triathlon Channel's about. So anyway, as we've progressed through the Instagram and through the years now, it's become not so much, well, yet still about keeping a record of everything I do so I can look back. But what I've found is looking back now on those first posts I did, some of them a bit cringy that I've even loaded something like that up. But anyway, that's just part of life and how you learn and grow. So now looking back on it, I can see how far I've come. So when I think today, maybe I don't feel as fit or as strong as I did a few months ago. If I look back to when I first started, you know, one of the posts I looked, and I'll try and find it and put it on there, but it takes forever to scroll through them all. But I did a long ride and it was, I think, an hour and a half, and I was broken. And I still remember my very first cycle I signed up for a Wiggle event, and I did and again, this is because of Instagram, I've been able to go back. I did a 56-mile sportive, and that was purely to see, you know, how the distance, and on the post actually, I was like, I don't know how you can run after doing 56 miles on the bike. And I think I did the bike in just under 4 hours or something like that, maybe just over. And anyway, I thought at that stage, I'm like, I've still got to do double that distance and then run a marathon. And I was like, I just don't know how anyone actually does this. So looking back on that now, that was probably a huge demoralizing ride for me, because I wondered, how do you actually do it? But now looking back on it, do you know what? And I'm not, by no means, cycling's my weakest. So I'm no, you know, I appreciate that I'm not as good as others on the bike, but looking back now into where I am now, 56-mile ride, do you know what? I do that quite easily. And the thought, you know, what I was running back then as just entering a half marathon. I'll give you an example. I signed up for my first half marathon during my training for it, and I ran a 1:32, and then I did a second one a few months later, and I think I did a 1:30. I run that off the bike now. So if you think to go back 3-4 years ago, I was struggling to just do the 56-mile bike, never mind try and run a half marathon off the bike. And now I'm doing what was just a standalone PB on a half marathon. I'm doing that running off the bike after doing a bike split of 2 hours 40. So, which is good for me. So I think that's one of the real pros of having Instagram, so you can see how far you've come. But more importantly for you, I suppose, is what else can you get from it is I've won a lot of prizes. So there's loads of different competitions that you can enter and you win prizes. And, you know, some of the prizes I've won, I didn't even know they existed out in the marketplace. And you enter these competitions and, you know, companies are joining up with other companies and you win some stuff. And I'm going to go on about some of the ambassador things later, but it's actually from a product that I won. So winning prizes, and I'm talking really good prizes. I've won Garmin watches, I've won Theragun, so you know, the massage guns. I've won coaching programs, so really decent protein shakes, etc. So there's loads, and I've been quite fortunate that I've been quite lucky. and I've won them. So that's another thing. But then also, thirdly, and is following other people, and just, you know, when you have those days where you might not want to train, you know, looking at other people and what they are doing, it motivates you to go out there and train. You get advice, and I've used it most in the last few weeks recently. Needed to understand why my training peaks and my Garmin was different in the heart rates, and it was because I hadn't set the zones, but that was the Instagram community that helped me to do that. So it's great for that. But on that as well, it can work in the reverse as well. So some of the negatives, unfortunately there are, you know, seeing what other people have and everything, it might make you want it as well, which ultimately could make you spend a lot more money than you need to, buying expensive bikes, trainers, etc., when you don't necessarily need to. So it creates that as well negatively. But you also might see people, you know, running a quicker time, and then you want to push yourself a bit more. Just follow your own journey, and, you know, don't compare yourself to everyone else, but use it as motivation. So when you see those people getting out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, wish it was 6, I get up probably between 4 and 5 anyway to go and do my training. You know, it's cold, it's wet, especially now when it's winter, it's icy, and you're going out to do the swim. If you're sharing that on Instagram, you know, it's not a case of, well, I certainly don't do it from a showing off point of view, but it's to help motivate other people to think, you know what, he's doing or she's doing it, I can do it as well. And that's what needs to be done if you have some goals that you're wanting to achieve. So that's Instagram. Hopefully, like I said, there's loads more to it, but I just wanted to cover some of the main points and sort of recap why I got involved in it. And then what we'll do is talk about the ambassador programs now. But what I'm thinking is I might have to do that in another video, because this is going to be quite a long video already, sort of over 10 minutes just on this one alone. So I'll load up a second video on ambassador programs, and I'll see you in that one. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to help, or on Instagram, message me or message other people. But like I say, it's a great tool if used correctly. Don't worry about the negative things that come out of it, because I get a lot of messages of negativity and people trying to bring you down. Ignore all that, and call it what you want as well under your Instagram handle. I'll just mention that before I go, because I got absolutely hammered when I started and I named Ironman Jason. Apparently I wasn't an Ironman, it was premature to do it, I couldn't do it. Ignore all that, call it what you want. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the ambassador one. You don't want to miss that one, because it's a really great way of getting a load of benefits for yourself, but passing them on to others, and how you can utilize them. Ultimately you'll save some money, but we'll go into more detail. Thank you.